Hello ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome back to Farming Simulator 19 here on the Estancia Lapacho map. We've got a busy day ahead of us. The fields are ready to be harvested. Yay! Which means there's going to be a lot of work for our harvester to do, for a tractor and trailer to do. Very busy day. Right, let's have a quick look. Yes, everything's fully ready to harvest at this point. Okay. We've basically got a full selection. We've got wheat, barley, oats, canola, and soybeans. Well, 3 out of those 5 have the best price at the transport company. Although the bakery is going up in price for canola, we shall see. How's our animals looking? 114 chickens now, and they're not very clean. Our horses have gone up in price again. They get ever closer on the training aspect. They're now worth 22,775, which means, as I pointed out in the last video, when you take off, when it comes to selling them, they're now worth £227,750 as a collective group, when you take off transportation fees and stuff. So the horses at this point are looking a heck of a lot more profitable than the sheep were. Right down. Chickens are quick clean. They've chucked 524 litres of wheat all over the floor. Mucky little critters. Oh. Yeah. JD. As they say. JD. Right. That down. Okay, it's done. Right. Chickens are cleaned. They're fed. Horses don't really need anything at the moment. They're good. Right. Okay, the big bud. The big bud's out for a reason. Because at the end of the last video, obviously, there wasn't a lot for me to do. I did choose to do a contract, which was sowing field 15 for 13 grand. So that's why the big bud's over here. That's the only thing I've done off camera since the end of the last episode and the beginning of this one. Oh. A 13 grand. I know we said we weren't going to do any contracts after we hit the magic 100, but you know, if I was going to sit there wait for the clock to tick, I may as well be doing some work. It may as well be getting paid doing something. I didn't fancy cutting the grass though. I decided against cutting the grass. Right. So we're all grass types, which means we only need the one header. We don't have to change on it. Let's start with field 1. Let's work in numerical order today. For a change, normally I start at field 3 and work my way that way. We're going to start in numerical order today. Start with field 1. Boom, 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 boom. We're gonna get some wheat off this field. We're also gonna get straw. Yes, I'm gonna straw swath. Decided. Get the loading wagon right there and I can get the straw sold. Okay, perhaps I'm not getting straw off of this row. Thank you, game, for deciding to disable my straw swath. I will enable it in a second. For the next brat. For the next breed. Careful not to destroy the crop behind you, as it is mine now. There we go. Here comes the big daddy. Do 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 do. Have the straw going this time. I'll also sell a few trailers of straw today. We've got 3 fields that are going to produce plenty of it, so we might as well sell it. Make another few quid for each trailer. And then we're going to see what we're going to do next. Obviously we need to get the bank loan paid off, which is 300 grand after today. And we'll see what money we've got left as to what our next project will be. Ideally, I would like have enough money that I could finish terraforming beside field 3 on that area of land, and then I could get the plough out and make a field on that area that I could then use for planting another crop. Effectively giving us 6 fields for harvesting crop on. So that is going to depend really on how much money we can make and how good I can be at using the terraforming tool without spending an absolute fortune. Unless, of course, I just decide not to bother with the loan repayment on this particular harvest. Because, honestly, the interest payment ain't that steep. I really need to worry about the fact I've borrowed, you know. I think the loan really only affects people who borrow ridiculous amounts, you know, borrow over $1 million or something. Then that can be quite expensive. I think I'm doing quite well. So perhaps the loan is not as critical as one would think. Why are you taking forever to turn around, mate? It's a bit unusual. Normally you're a bit quicker on the ball than that. May have got that in one. Had I been paying more attention. 1,000 in wheat thus far. Much better than our previous harvest. Guess this is what happens when you get your fields in the correct condition these days. You know, once you've ploughed and limed and fertilised properly, you definitely notice a big increase in yield. Right. Let me spin round. We're going to do field 2 next, which is barley. But I'm going to empty. Look at me sat in my harvester lawn. Right, Mr. Fent. We use the Fent today for pulling the trailer rather than the stayer. Not that I've got any particular reason for using the Fent over the stayer, because I can't. I've got to, unless I hire a worker to do the combining, I can't hire a worker to do the loading wagon to pick up the straw. And until I pick up the straw, it's not like I'm going to be doing anything to the fields, like cultivating and such, because I need that straw. Yeah. Maybe had I started on field 7 and 8 and then moved to 4, 5 and 6, that might have been a different animal. Because then we could have we could have had the cultivators going then straight after the harvester. Right, you are done, sir. Right, I'm going to put him on worker mode. We're going to take this. We're going to tip it and see what happens. Are we going to have enough wheat left over to have any to sell? What I'm wondering. Or is it all going in the silo to increase our rainy day fund? All gone in the silo by the looks of it, which means we're 191,000, so we're actually we're 8,330 litres short filling the silo. On. No money made yet then. That means we probably aren't going to be selling any barley or oats either. But there's 3 crops that will have made nil for us today. Need to get the terraforming tool on that bit as well, because there's a strange bump there now. Not going to pipe out because I'm on the wrong side. He's reversing, dropping a great ton of straw. Carry on past the edge of the field, mate. Huh? Piling up a load of rubbish there. Right, where's our big bird? Right, stay up. Connect. Connect. Wrong side. Yeah. I know that. I was just testing everybody watching to see if you'd not spotted that mistake. Let's go do some straw loading then. Pick up, turn it on. We're coming to get some straw. We're coming to get my straw. We're gonna have a lot of straw. Look purple. Excellent. Like a old lady pro. You've missed a bit of barley there, mate. That was definitely on a row you did. Don't blame me. Oh, for this big pile here. There, we got it. Okay, so it's time to start the time-lapse speedy up bit part of the episode, because the entire harvesting process takes an incredibly long time. In fact, for me to harvest each one of my fields basically record that, it's taking over 2 hours now. So yeah, originally I did commentate over the whole duration of the recording, but now that I've brought the video into Vegas and started to edit it, I've realised that it's too long. The video is far too long. The harvesting process is far too long. Therefore, that commentary has had to be chucked out the window. I may have said something epic in that whole period, but unfortunately you guys will never get to hear it because it's too long. And when I speed up the video, it obviously doesn't speed up the audio, so I have to re-record it in post. But I'm doing the old straw picking up a bit because we're not making any money from the crops at the minute because I've not yet reached the point where my silo is full. So I've got excess crop to sell. So from the grass crops, the only thing I am profiting off at the minute is the straw. And eventually I foresee maybe even that being took away from me, because after a couple of 100,000 litres of straw being dropped at the barn, they might stop paying me for my straw. And here I am mucking about trying to find a way to unload the harvester without backing it out the crop, because this is creative. I didn't want to take it out of the lane and dismiss the worker, so I managed it on this occasion, and I managed to reverse the trailer in there and not muck it up and do any crop destruction and damage. But I can't pretend to say that later on I don't have a disaster trying to do a similar thing. But we're definitely at the stage with the farm now where it's kind of reaching the point where it's a little bit difficult to manage by myself. One person. Like I say, it's probably getting to the stage where I do seriously need to consider buying a second harvester to speed up the harvesting process, and having another trailer and tractor capable of unloading that second harvester, or investing in the distinction so I can actually have two separate crops in the same trailer. That I could probably get away with that then, because then I could unload both harvesters with the one truck and trailer, couldn't I? That's something to consider. And each section of the trailer holds 100,000 litres of crop, which I'm probably never going to get beyond. Maybe? I mean, that's no 100,000. I mean, the harvest is 60,000 litres, isn't it? So it's like, it's basically 1 full harvester load and then 2/3 to fill a section of the distinction. Most of these fields I'm kind of doing in 1 and a bit loads. I'm certainly not getting more than that, I don't think. Something for me to consider anyway, because it basically the harvest takes ages with one harvester, even hiring the worker, and then trying to then get the other vehicles doing bits and bobs to again try and get the fields turned around and put back into production. It's definitely getting to the point where I've got to have multiple vehicles active at the same time. The alternative, of course, is just not to try and do the harvest in one go, and it would be to maybe spread it out. Harvest, say, 3 fields in one video and harvest 2 in another in the next one. I don't know. I'm just trying to think how to make things easier for me, because recording it is, you know, not really a problem. That's easy enough, but the editing afterwards is a bit starting to get time consuming now. When you're having to try and trim down you know, a 2.5 hour video into a video under an hour. Because if I uploaded a 2-hour video, I don't think anyone would watch it. And I think even some of these videos that are, you know, getting up to sort of an hour in length, I think a lot of people won't click on those. Even my subscribers probably won't click on those and watch them. And it would really help if I turned on my straw swath, my straw collector, wouldn't it? So I'm gonna have to go back and pick that up. I don't have the die-hard viewer base yet that, you know, other YouTubers and streamers have, where they can post videos of any length and their audience is going to watch them regardless. I'd love to be in that position where any video I post, all my subscribers and followers watch it from start to finish, but I'm not that lucky at the moment. In fact, the vast majority of my subscribers and followers don't watch my videos based on the viewing data I get from YouTube and that, based on the number of views my videos get. You know, I've got, you know, nearly 400 subscribers at the moment, and if I'm only getting, you know, up to 10 views on a video, you don't have to be a genius to realise that not all the subscribers are clicking on and watching that video. No, we're talking less than 4% of my subscribers watch my videos. Oh, and I've got the trailer stuck. I jiggled it free. That's all right. We recovered. We recovered well. And has anyone noticed yet? Has anyone noticed? I know it's probably hard in the time-lapse speedy up a bit, but has anyone noticed that when I do the straw collection, each time I take the straw to sell it, and each time I then return to the farm from selling the straw, I take a different route. I never travel the same route twice. You'll probably want to go back now and check that, and you're going to be keeping an eye on that now for the rest of the video because I've said it. But yeah, you watch it. I deliberately do that on purpose to have some fun. As I was recording this, I was like, I'm never going to take the same route twice. I'm never going to, you know, going to pick a different path every time to get back to that field and pick up the next bit of straw. Or, you know, to get to the barn and unload, I'm going to take a completely different path. And there was quite a bit of commentary in the original video about that, but obviously you have to put up with me now commentating in post-edit. But I have pointed it out to you, so you can now watch it and check and see for yourself that I do pick a different route and path each and every time. Just to be awkward. Some people will say, oh, you made it even longer by doing that instead of just going direct A to B. And I was like, oh yeah, maybe. But it was the one thing that gave me a bit of a chuckle. Nearly finished though, because the canola and soybeans don't drop straw, so we don't have to worry about straw collecting on the next two fields. And this is probably going into the hayloft, because there's not a lot left to warrant selling it. Let's have a look. Nope. I was just trying some random crazy thing there to see if he would tip a different crop into the trailer with the oats in, but he wouldn't. So, go tip the oats. Still haven't quite filled the silo extension because I still don't have any excess to sell. going to be doing another harvest, I think, of these base crops before I can start selling and making money. Once I've filled the silo, we're going to be good to go then, basically. Everything we harvest after that is going to be to sell. Because everything in the silo is going to be saved for use on the farm, in my sort of animal husbandry. And once the silo's full, that's it. Everything else can go to the shops and be turned into profit. And get the stair now doing some reseeding, again to try and speed up the old turn. Oh, I was demonstrating something here. That's what I was doing. I was highlighting the fact that I think a lot of the tools, like the seeders and stuff, are the wrong way round. They fold the wrong way. The tool should be behind the tractor, and then you should have the tank with the seed and the fertilizer in, which would make basically working fields a lot easier, because you wouldn't have to travel so far beyond the field's edge, and it's probably what would help the AI workers to not make such gaffes and mistakes by I think I mentioned it in the previous video with like the plows and stuff like that, that I think they fold the wrong way. And again, they should be positioned so that they're right behind the tractor, so that when you're using them, especially when you're like doing the create fields and stuff, you've got more control over them. And it's definitely the same with seed. I think out of all the tools in the game, I've probably said this before, I think it's the Seed Hawk, isn't it? The Seed Hawk is perhaps the only tool in the game that gets it right, or is close to getting it right. And as I say, I would love to see some modders come up with some alternate versions of some of these tools that do work the way that I'm talking and saying, where they should, you know, open the other way. Because right now, where the seed and the cultivating is taking place, that should be behind the tractor, and the tank should be behind the cultivator stroke planter. Tractor wouldn't have to drive so far off the field then to complete, you know, a lane. That's just my thoughts. Big Bud's cultivating 2 fields at the same time, I think, isn't he? No, he's just doing the one. No, it's okay. Do try and keep my eyes on the workers though, because they do go a bit nuts at times. You start driving off in random directions and doing some crazy things, and I've tried everything I can think of to fix it. Putting headlands on fields, making sure I've definitely gone round the field a couple of times with the roller to delete any type of connection that may possibly exist between the fields. But, okay, we've got to get rid of the eggs because the eggs are full. And by the time I've loaded this truck, the pickup with the eggs, they're going to be scrambled eggs, broken eggs. Look at me, I'm like an Amazon Prime delivery person, loading up their car before they set off on a day delivering Prime orders. That was one of the things I definitely remember talking about as I recorded this, Amazon Prime, and how it's not as good as it used to be because they don't deliver quite as quick as they used to. Their orders, certainly I find, for me in the area I live in, I don't get my Amazon Prime orders as early in the day now as I used to, which is really annoying when you order things like video games and stuff, because on release day, when you really want that bloody delivery early so you can get on, start playing and producing video content if you're going to do video content on it, or if you're going to Twitch stream it or whatever. And they start turning up at 5-6 o'clock in the evening with your deliveries. You know, I can remember a time not too long ago when I placed an order for Amazon, on Amazon at about 12:30, 1 o'clock in the morning, and I got my delivery that same day, and it was a Sunday. What, it about 9:30, 10 a.m. in the morning on a Sunday, and I didn't order it until way after midnight, and I couldn't believe it. I thought that was fantastic service, and that's what I think Amazon Prime should be, but it's got not so good now. I don't know whether it's because there's too many people now subscribed to Amazon Prime and using it, that they just can't fulfill their promise of, you know, next day early deliveries and stuff. And like you say, I notice now when you place some orders, it tells you it can be delivered up to sort of like 8 PM in the evening. Well, that's no good. It's no good again if, like, say, you're ordering like video games and stuff, you know, on release day. You don't want to get a game at bloody 8 o'clock at night on release day, do you? Especially if you're like a video, you know, YouTuber streamer, because every freaking Tom, Dick, Harry and John is going to have the game by then. You know, people who wander into their local supermarket get the game before you. So I would like to see Amazon maybe change some of their Prime delivery stuff. For certain products, like if you order video games and choose Prime delivery, it should be guaranteed pre 9 AM on day of release. Like, that would be brilliant, especially now they've took away like the 20% discount you used to get as a Prime customer for pre-ordering games. If you pre-ordered games, you got 20% off on Amazon, but they've removed that. So I would like to see them offer those customers something else in exchange for Prime. Like I say, guaranteed pre-9 AM delivery of games on release day would be nice. It's very rare though that I order physical games, unless it's obviously console. Consoles, you don't have a lot of choice. Consoles, I still tend to order a lot of physical copies, but nearly every game I get on PC now is through Steam. It's digital. You know, it's very rare I order a physical copy of a PC game. Why has the cultivator missed a complete strip of that field again? It's like he's gone halfway and stopped. These are the things that I just can't understand and work out why they happen and how to fix them and stop them happening. Where's he going? He's going to get the fertilizer. See? This is because obviously the big bud cultivator, and then we've got to fertilise because the seeder for the big bud doesn't do a fertilise function. So I've got to manually fertilise between cultivating and seeding. Right, we're taking the eggs. We're going to the bakery. Going to get rid of our eggs. Our first full egg harvest. Well, not really full harvest, because obviously a lot of these eggs were spawned prior to patch 1.2, which means a lot of these boxes are probably going to be empty. Right, let me just jiggle the truck about a bit to see if we can force these eggs to sell, because unfortunately you can't tip eggs at a sell point. The game doesn't let you. Even if you put them in like a normal trailer, you can't force tip them. So I kind of have to do a bit of a cheaty workaround to make selling eggs easy. Or picking the truck up and tipping the eggs out. That's just one of the exploits I do actually condone using. because otherwise selling eggs is a pain in the bum. Because you can't tip them. You have to unload them by hand, one box at a time. And here I go. I'm looking about, now I'm destroying crops, look. Now I'm destroying crops, trying to reverse this trailer. And then I thought, no, bugger it. Move the harvester. So yeah, hopefully now, from this point on, because we've obviously had the patch 1.2 drop, the new boxes of eggs that my chickens spawn should always be fully filled before it starts a new box. So every time you save the game now, it shouldn't start a new box of eggs. And every time you load the game, it shouldn't start a new box of eggs. It should only start a new box of eggs when the previous box is full. That way you're not having partial boxes being taken and delivered to the sell points. You're only taking full boxes. Which should hopefully make it so that when you sell your eggs, you actually get closer to what the advertised price is on the pricing screen. Because it does seem very confusing at times, that pricing screen. Because, you know, it says like the eggs are £3,000 per whatever. You never get anywhere near that money. You never get anywhere near that. Right. Let's finish cultivating this. Do the bit that Matey missed. And then we can set our fertiliser loose. Then we can set the seeder loose on it as well. Get it replanted. I think I'm going to do corn next. And that'll break this field out of the cycle then, because after it's been harvested, it'll need to be ploughed. Again, that's maybe something that can help me. If I stagger all my fields a little bit, so that they're on different stages again. That way then they're not all going to need planting at the same time, not all going to need harvesting at the same time. You know, going to be able to do different work. Because yeah, definitely you know, and it's a full in-game day at 5 times speed. At 5 times in-game speed, which is what I'm playing on now, it takes all day to do the harvest now of the fields that I own. And I actually want to buy more fields. I do want to expand the farm further. You know, I would like to buy fields 13 and 15 and field 29 at some point. And if I do that, then there's just no way in my present setup that I would be able to get all the fields harvested in a single day. It would take me over 4 hours real time to do it, and there's just no way I could record for that period of time and talk for that period of time. It would absolutely destroy me. Absolutely destroy. I start to feel bad when I reach the end of like a 2-hour recording, because talking for that length of time is very bad, especially for me with my vocal cord dysfunction. I've got VCD, and again because of my respiratory problems and, you know, my asthma and my COPD, talking is very strenuous on me. It's very tiring. And I've had, you know, issues trying to record in the past where all of a sudden my voice just goes and I end up sounding really croaky, and, you know, your voice just completely changes in tone and pitch and frequency and everything, and, you know, it feels like there's something in my throat and I can't, and I then start trying to clear it, and, you know, at that point you just have to stop recording, because all you're going to hear is me hacking and coughing and stuff, trying to, you know, evict some imaginary thing from my throat. And I do have, you know, I do have therapy for that. I do go to, I do have treatment for that. I go pretty much bi-monthly to Loughborough, where I see a speech and language therapist who does treat me for the VCD. But again, a lot of way, again, it's prevention is probably the best cure. You're not going to be able to cure the problem. It's not curable, but you can prevent it from occurring by being sensible. And like I say, trying to avoid talking for too long a period of time is the best way, she says, of avoiding having the issues. Resting your voice. Which again, in my previous line of work as a technical support person, being on a phone all day, doing technical support in a call centre, I wouldn't be able to do that now. That's a job that's career path that's closed off to me. Right, back the trailer in. Look at that. First time, I'm getting better at reversing. Some days I can nail it, and then other days I'll not be able to reverse this thing for toffee. It's crazy how that still is a thing. This is what going to be the 31st episode? 31 episodes into the series, and reversing trailers is still my thing. Don't even get me started on them trailers which have the movable front axle. They're the worst. I can't reverse them at all, which annoys me, because the bale trailers, the auto-loading bale trailers, have that fucking mechanism on the front, and that aggravates me so much. I would love to use the auto-loading bale trailers. I would love to have them and use them and do bales, but because they have that dodgy freaking front steering axle thing, and they're a nightmare to reverse, impossible to reverse, I can't use them. Can't use them. So until someone adds the auto-loading scripting functionality to a standard trailer, which has the fixed hitch on the front, then I'm out of luck with doing bales. Getting there though, we are getting there. He's almost finished seeding, he's planting his corn, he's doing a cracking job. And I'm thinking we may move into root crop production soon. Once I've got the money to be able to buy the equipment, there is a machine that will enable me to harvest sugar beet and potatoes. It just needs different headers, a bit like a combine has separate headers for, you know, the grass crops and corn and sunflowers. So that'll be what I invest in. It's not the biggest machine in terms of capacity, it's not the biggest machine in terms of speed, but it saves me buying 2 separate machines and spending nearly £1 million on 2 machines when I can get away with one that will harvest both crops, because I'm never gonna plant sugar beets and potatoes at the same time, so I'm never gonna have to harvest both of them at the same time. They will alternate. I'll alternate between sugar beet one harvest, potatoes the next on a field, and I'll probably dedicate one field to root crops. Again, keep things simple. Okay, get the fertilizer going. We're nearly back to the point now where I'm going to stop the time-lapse speedy up bit and resume normal, real-time action as we bring this episode to an end, or to the end. So we'll go back to the original commentary and the original recording and audio will see you out for this episode. I would have to switch tractors in a minute and put the Fiat on this spreader for when the fields grow. The fields 1, 2 and 3 grow. Because otherwise this guy's tyres will destroy the crops. Check the bradle, we'll give that a bit of a wash off as well. I won't refill it just yet, because I think it'll fertilise pretty much all these fields quite happily. Nice and clean spreader. There are a few dings on it, innit? A few scratches and a bit of wear and tear. Tractor. Wait. Cab. Park him up. Hey, we'll get the Fiat. Can't see. Oh no, his bulbs have gone out on the front. Give the combine and the header a clean. Well, while we're at it. Move that area around. Don't like that bump. Getting a bump. Combine's not looking too bad. Header probably needs a bit of work. Still a New Holland header. I want to switch it to a case one really. Case draper. I think the case draper headers are better. Framiness. Back over here. Lower the header. Scratch the header. Back the harvester all the way off to about here. He's nearly finished, but I don't know how he can be when he can't see where he's going. Deadlights aren't working. Right, well, as the sun sets on our farm for the evening, I'm going to say thank you everybody for watching this video. Hope you've enjoyed it. It's been a long one. I hope you will consider hitting the like button and supporting the video. Any questions, comments, suggestions, feedback, anything like that, be sure to leave down below in the comment section. And of course, if you're not already doing so, please smash that subscribe button. Very important. I'll be back with another video very soon, but for now, from me, goodbye.